But it's not your typical love story. This is a love story. See, I'm a dad. Anybody got any proud papas up in the house? What? This is a love story between a father and his daughter. See, there was a man who fell in love. His wife was beautiful, and they laughed and they played, and they loved to dance together. And they would dance and they would dance and they would dance, and especially on Valentine's, they would dance. It was in fact around Valentine's that she had gone into labor with their child. And as they were dancing, she looked at him, she buckled over, and excited as most fathers are, he moved around and finally got her to the hospital, but there was complications in the pregnancy. And his wife died, leaving him to raise a beautiful young daughter. He loved her with all his might. And they would spend time together and talk together. And every Valentine's Day, just like he had done with her mother, they would dance together. Oh, and it was adorable because, see, she would put her feet on his feet. And he would put his arm around her and grab her hair. And they would dance and dance and dance. She grew older. About the time she turned 16, like many girls, she didn't want to be around Dad that much anymore. And a dad who once was everything to her now just wasn't as important. Her friends would come and want to hang out, and she'd hang out with her friends. And when they were going to bring her home, if Dad was out front, she ducked down in the car and said, "Keep driving." And she met this boy. He was a few years older than she was. He had his own car. He got to say all the right things. And she thought that this was the man she should be with. And she got mad at her dad one day because he was like, "I don't want you spending so much time with that boy." "Daddy, you just don't understand," she says. And she storms out of the house and she goes and she gets in the car with this boy and says, "Let's leave. Let's just leave. I have a cousin who lives in the city. Let's just leave." And the boy takes her. Oh, for the first couple of weeks, everything was wonderful. She's staying with family. They're all living in this little one-room hotel, trying to make it. And she comes out waiting for him to pick her up. And she's in the car. He's in the car with another woman. And she's like, "Who is this? What's going on?" He says, "Listen, you're just too much for me right now. I'm through with you, and this is my new girl." She goes back inside, and she's crying, and her cousin, who isn't much better, says, "I don't know what you're going to do, but rent's going to be coming up. You need to find you a way to make some money." Well, this girl didn't have much going for her. She quit school, didn't have education. But she was attractive. Someone told her that she could dance. She found her way to a strip club. She began to dance. She would dance, and she would stay there until she got problems, and then she'd find another club, and she would dance there. You know, her father would send her letters, but she wouldn't even open them. Her father would always send her a letter, and she'd just stick them inside. One day, one Valentine's Day, she was getting ready to go on, and the bouncer of the club came up and said, "Cat, this is for you." She looked, and she could tell by the writing it was a Valentine's card from her father. The girls around looked at her. She took it and opened up a drawer and stuck it with another stack of letters that her father had sent her. And they looked and says, "Who's sending you Valentine's, girl?" "Oh, it's nobody. It's my dad." And she looked at the bouncer and says, "He was here?" And he said, "Yes, he came by yesterday and he told me to wait till the day to give it to you." Well, her girlfriends, all the other dancers, they just messed with her till finally she opened it up. And inside, there was a little letter from her father. It said, "Kat, I know where you are. I know what you do. But I still love you. Won't you come home and dance with your papa baby one more time? One more Valentine's." As she read those words, she began to cry. And as her friends moved aside, she started opening up letters. And she began reading about how much her father loved her. Her father, every Valentine's, would have a little party. Family were over. They were there, and all of a sudden it got quiet. They looked at the door, and there was Kat holding that Valentine. And she said, "Papa, baby, will you dance with me one more time?" And he opened his arms, and she put her feet on his feet. Their hands cupped, and they danced. They danced. I tell you this story because God is our Father. No matter what you've done, no matter where you've been, no matter what you think, He knows you. He loves you. And He doesn't care. We can pretend to have it all together. But He knows our hearts. Love those around you. But make sure you love God. He's asking you to dance with Him.